Hey, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Today, blood sugar right now is 6.2 and it's going up. And I just gave myself some insulin, full calibration. I've been low, kind of hovering below the great mark all sort of day. Time and range 96. Got rid of the highs. Still kind of high on the lows. Average blood sugar has dropped. It's now 5.8. Now, for a normal diabetic, that would still be a problem. But we're doing better. Today, I want to discuss the diabetic lifestyle. This channel is provided for informational purposes only. Contact your physician for any diagnostic or treatment plan. The imaginary and realistic diabetic lifestyle. So many people have preconceived notions on what the diabetes lifestyle is. When I was diagnosed, I was set up on pretty much what I'll call the old system, where I had food exchanges and you had to take your insulin same time every day. And you had to eat, and you could only eat what was in your diet. And then you got a little blue exchange book, and you could read in there to see how many or how much food you could get for how many exchanges you had. And you always had a real danger of going low because you never knew what your blood sugar would be. Blood sugar wasn't around for till I was in high school, later in high school. So, you had to deal with it. And we had to live with this stigmatism for years. To the point today, the lay people who don't have to live with this disease have preconceived notions of that. And a lot of times, even doctors and nurses may know of diabetes, but may not know the intricate workings. For example, I had a doctor who just called up my diabetic nurse and said, you need to cut carbs now, or cut insulin now, or whatever it was. But she couldn't do that because my body would still need sugar. And it's also regulated by the pump. So just magically doing this will solve this. And then you get into not problem cases, I don't consider myself a problem, but cases which are a little bit more difficult. Hence, a lot of times you might have to be the educator. And you still need to tell the doctors or the healthcare professionals your reality of living with your disease. Know why you're taking this X amount of insulin. Know why you're on this medication. I know, granted, if you ever end up in the emergency room, chances are because you've had a low or you're experiencing DKA, or you're not gonna really understand everything that's being thrown at you. Like, when was the last time you ate? And, you know, as soon as you're able to, you need to start speaking up. Now, when you're on the pump, they still expect you to eat three meals a day, 2 snacks. A lot of people, dietitians, are saying the evening snacks and the other snacks aren't necessary. With the pump, it just is a mute point. I get snacks, one, because they're afraid if I drop, which is fair based on my record, but it also, the normal diabetic out there, if you're on a pump, you don't have to have a snack. If you miss a meal, the basal rates on the pump should cover that. And I had family and people freaking out that I wasn't always eating like I was supposed to. And oh no, you have to get up, you have to eat. In my teenage years growing up with diabetes, this is the one point that drove me crazy. Living with my father, you have to get up every day at 6. By 7, you have to have everything done and you have to eat. And then you could go back to bed. It never quite worked out that way. He had chores already lined up. So you can't, but you have to be active too. Sort of like, they always seem to change the rules. But anyway, I'm not going to go into that. We're talking about the diabetes lifestyle. You know what your doctors or educators have told you. You don't necessarily need to develop and get into a fight over it. There are times at Thanksgiving dinner, I would like a second helping of, I don't know, turkey. Oh no, you should only 1 ounce of meat counts to one exchange. So you're just allowed 4 ounces. Meanwhile, everyone else is gouging. And my response is, well, there's no carbs in meat, but even if there was, I know how much insulin to take. What I'm trying to show in these stories is first, a diabetic lifestyle is getting pretty close to the same lifestyle as everyone else. You shouldn't be out there having pies and cakes and cookies every single day. You should have a well-balanced meal. And if you miss a meal, it's not, oh my God, I have to race for food. If your blood sugars start going low, maybe your basal rate isn't set right. You, as I was trying to get to before, you know what your doctors have told you. It's up to you to live within those expectations, to make you feel the best you can be. Don't sort of, oh, well, if I do this, if I take extra insulin now, I can do this every single day. And then you kind of end up in emergency and, oh, I don't know why I'm going low. Come on. You need to work on it. You need to be sensible. A diabetic lifestyle is very sensible. You should be eating a whole bunch of processed food, even though, yeah, it's quick, it's easy. Vegetables. You should have healthier carbs. And we're talking complex carbs. I don't necessarily believe 100% behind all this keto diet. And oh, yes, I think an awful lot of people are on keto diets that don't necessarily need to be on keto diet. Oh, but it's a wonderful way for weight loss. Because everyone's looking for that quick fix to get rid of all this extra weight. For a normal diabetic, you should have at least, on the average, 3 full meals a day. When I say full, they should be, 1/2 of greens, quarter meat or quarter protein, and quarter carbs. And you can take a look and get pictures of the plates of food. But, for myself, I would get up, I'd do a blood test even before I got out of bed. I would put in my blood sugar into the device, deliver my insulin, and while that was going on, I head to the kitchen, start my breakfast. I would get ready for work. I'd head down to work. And I was sort of ready to go. I got things done. Throughout the morning, I'd be checking, whether it be with this or with a glucometer. Lunch, I'd do a blood test, see what my numbers were, give insulin, and continue on its way. Dinner, the same thing. During the day, keep this thing handy. Refer to it. If you see you're dropping and you're going like this, maybe it's time to have something. If you see it's going like this, maybe you need to watch the amount of carbs you're having. It's a good thing to remember. A saying that I got out of this thing they called Dialogue, which was back then the Canadian Diabetes Association magazine, said about the diabetic diet. It's the way everyone should eat. Well, times have changed and different philosophies, but a diabetic lifestyle is sort of the way everyone should take care of their bodies. Make sure you have fuel. Starvation diets don't work. Whatever plan you decide works best for your life. That's for all the normies out there. For diabetics, follow your plan that you and your doctor have come up with. And I say you and your doctor. Don't necessarily sit there and say, oh, well, my doctor came up with this plan. I don't understand it. If you're not going to understand it, chances are you're not going to live up to it. And what I'm trying to say is the diabetic lifestyle is a simple lifestyle for you to follow. And with that, have a great day, and we'll talk later. Bye now. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. Thank you. My email is mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com. mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com.